All right, so every year, Stanford University drops its AI index report. And it's a beast. We're talking a massive 500-plus page document that takes the pulse of everything happening in artificial intelligence. We waded through all of it to pull out the single biggest story of the year. And that story is basically one of an uncomfortable growth spurt. AI is getting powerful at a dizzying speed, but man, its growing pains are becoming impossible to ignore. Let's dive in.
So first, let's just set the stage. 2024 wasn't just another year of, steady progress. This was the year AI exploded. It burst out of the research labs and right into the middle of science and our society. It was no longer just a niche tech story. It became the story.
And nothing, I mean nothing, shows this shift from the lab to the mainstream better than this. Look, we're not talking about some industry tech awards here. We're talking about the Nobel Prize, the highest honor in science. The Nobel in chemistry went to the team behind AlphaFold for using AI to solve the massive problem of protein folding. And the Nobel in physics, it went to the pioneers whose foundational work on neural networks made all of this stuff possible in the first place. This is AI playing in the big leagues.
At the same time, the commercial world was just on fire. And this timeline, honestly, it just scratches the surface of the chaos. In March, bam, Anthropic's Claude 3 leaps over GPT-4. A few months later, boom, Runway's Gen 3 is making videos of people that are just terrifyingly realistic. Then Meta drops its biggest open model yet, and by the fall, Apple has woven AI into everything. The pace was just relentless.
But this absolute explosion in power brings us to our first major tension. Because as AI gets unbelievably powerful and radically cheaper, we're also discovering that its intelligence has some very strange and very critical blind spots.
So what's this number? This represents how much cheaper it got to actually run a query on a powerful AI model between late 2022 and late 2024. Not build it, just use it. 280 times cheaper. That is insane. And that is why powerful AI is suddenly everywhere. It's not just for the big guys anymore. Startups, researchers, even you can build things that were just a fantasy a couple of years ago.
But here is the paradox. For all that power, AI's intelligence is weird. On one hand, it's absolutely crushing old standardized tests, getting near perfect scores on things that measure knowledge or grade school math. But on the other hand, the report is crystal clear. These systems still can't really do complex logical reasoning. Give them a brand new, really hard test, one that's designed to be ungoogleable, called Humanity's Last Exam, and the best models score less than 9%. It's like a genius who can ace the LSAT but can't figure out how to make a peanut butter sandwich.
And that leads us to our second big tension, this incredible dual power that generative AI has. The power to create things we've never seen before, and the power to create deceptions that can completely tear our society apart.
You've probably seen this one, right? The Will Smith eating spaghetti meme? It's the perfect example of this creative leap. The videos from 2023 were a hot mess. Total nightmare fuel. Hilarious, but clearly, obviously fake. But as the report highlights, by early 2025, that same prompt gives you video that is shockingly, almost perfectly realistic. The ability to create believable fiction out of thin air has just gone vertical.
But that exact same progress has an incredibly dark side. And the report is just filled with these chilling real-world examples. A 15-year-old girl being harassed by fake news created by a classmate. A deepfake audio clip trying to swing an election in Pakistan. A fake image of Taylor Swift endorsing a candidate going viral in the US. A whole Russian propaganda campaign running on AI-generated fake news. And here's the kicker. The technology that can make a funny video of Will Smith is the exact same tool used for all of this devastating deception.
Which brings us to our final, and maybe the most important tension of all. We are seeing a mind-blowing boom in AI investment and development. But our progress on safety, on ethics, on responsibility, it's moving at a snail's pace.
Just to give you a sense of the scale, look at this number, $10 billion. That's how much the AI data company Databricks raised in a single funding round. And that's not some weird outlier. It's a snapshot of the absolute fire hose of money being sprayed on AI development. The race is on, and it's funded by almost unimaginable amounts of cash.
Now contrast that giant abstract number with this story from the report. This shows the human cost when it all goes wrong. While billions are being poured into making these systems more powerful, a real person's life got turned completely upside down by a flawed facial recognition system. Publicly shamed, banned from stores, all because an algorithm made a mistake. This is where that frantic push for progress slams right into the need for responsibility.
And this gets to the absolute core of the problem. It's a huge finding in the report. The industry is fantastic at measuring performance. Everyone agrees on the benchmarks. Everyone uses them to prove their model is the best. But when you ask about measuring safety, or fairness, or responsibility, it's the Wild West. There is absolutely no consensus, no standards. We are obsessively measuring how fast the car can go, with almost no agreement on how to build brakes or seatbelts.
So, what does all this mean when you put it together? The 2025 AI Index report really paints a picture of a technology that's powerful, world-changing, and, well, deeply conflicted.
The state of AI right now really boils down to these three fights. You've got power versus problems. It's getting cheaper and better, but still fails at basic logic. You've got creation versus deception. It can make beautiful art, and it can make dangerous lies with the same click. And finally, progress versus responsibility. The investment is booming, but the guardrails for safety and ethics are lagging way behind. This is AI's uncomfortable growth spurt.
The technology is moving so much faster than our laws, our ethics, and our social rules can keep up with. So the real takeaway from this year's report isn't just about what AI can do, it's about what we, as a society, should do. It leaves us with a huge question. What choices do we need to make right now to steer this incredible, awkward, and ridiculously powerful technology in a direction that actually benefits all of us?